there's one thing that I promise you'll be alright. Back flipping without the courage, you're breaking your leg tonight. Either that or breaking your hands, either way you ain't landing right. Let them know that's just how you learn it. Grab hold of tables and turn it. Make sure you remember the drill before making an attempt to burn it. No matter how hard you battle, as long as you're trying and it's working, as long as it's for my kids, I'll forever go on. Bitch, I'm digging into this, honestly knowing there's more than what I could see. Can't predict what's my future holding, my past far behind me. I know that life can get grimy, that's why I'll never look back, cause I already know what's behind me. Dear humble Lord, please come find me. Yes, I go hard for my son and my daughter. Never could fail as a father. Been through the times will be hard. Believe me, if that I'm not bothered. Humbly in love with it all. Just trust when I say that I got him. Speak from the heart. The story we'll see if you come from the bottom. Error her shit. Let's have a battle.
Man, you raw as a motherfucker.
I'm inbound. Father, spare her shit. I'm digging into this, honestly knowing there's more than what I could see. Can't predict what's my future holding, my past far behind me. I know that life can get grimy, that's why I'll never look back, cause I already know what's behind me. Dear humble Lord, please come find me. Yes, I go hard for my son and my daughter. Never could fail as a father. Been through the times will be hard. Believe me, if that I'm not bothered. Humbly in love with it all. Just trust when I say that I got him. Speak from the heart. The story we'll see if you come from the bottom. Digging into it, knowing I barely get through it. Takes all you got to be a man. Just gotta level the usage. Make sure you don't have too little. And also don't overuse it. It's like my neighbor scale. All it took was a balance and movement. As for my kids, I will prove it. There's nothing else I can do but to make sure every single step that I take is for you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Hope you guys are having a great day. And in a second right now, we're going to bring in my boy, Mr. Zen Ray himself, talk about some new updates that we just found out. So wanted to welcome you guys to this evening. Short video we're going to have. We're going to go back and forth. It's going to be a lot of fun. Ray's been talking to me all day. He said that he's had some interesting stuff for me. So just give me a second and we're going to get things rolling. I'm going to bring him now. You're going to be able to hear him. Just give me 1 second and let's get this show rolling.
I think you're on, man. I was hearing your introduction. I forgot to mute you. That's on my end.
Hey, Ray, I apologize, man. How you doing today, brother?
And don't apologize, man. Listen, man, I went to Central Park. I had to clear my mind a little bit today. I was with my wife and son out there. Lovely day, by the way. And I was just going over all these possible, pickups Knicks have an option in trades. I've been hearing some crazy kind of trades here.
Oh, let me know. I know you text me. You were like that you had a lot of news for me and that you couldn't wait to get this podcast rolling. I've looked up a couple of things today, but not too much. I'm stepping away this weekend, so I'm going to be out of the office. So check out my man Zen Ray on any updated Knicks. But he knows that if he hears anything that is game-changing, he knows where to find me. So I'll definitely, if he does a show, I'll be a guest on his show this weekend. But kick it off, Ray. Let me know what you found out, man, and I'll let you know exactly afterwards what I found out.
Yeah, so first I was letting him know about Luca Veldoza. I told him I have a clip of his workout today. I mean, it's a short little video, maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds max. I would say 10 seconds more than 20. And he looked good, man. I mean, he looks. I mean, he has a heart as a lion, this guy, and he's willing to do anything, man. I think he'll jump in front of a bus right in front of Madison Square Garden to have us win a game. I mean, that's the kind of heart this guy has. Yeah, he looks good. And I also heard some crazy rumors about D'Angelo Russell. I don't know if you heard anything about that.
Well, that was the one that I heard about today while I was, doing a couple of things. I have it in front of me right now because it was too good to be true. So now, before I get started on this trade, I would just like to say this would be, I want to say, my secondary option. My primary is still Lonzo Ball. I think the guy is the direction that we need to go. He's young, he's athletic, and he's good for New York. New York is a little bit of craziness. We love that rough, tough mentality, and I think with him and as long as his father stays out of his personal life and his media, we'll be good. But to get back into this D'Angelo Russell trade, from what I heard today, it was speculated on fan side. They were saying that the Knicks would obtain D'Angelo Russell, is involving three teams. The Raptors would get three draft picks from the Knicks. It would be 2021, the 19th overall pick, the 21st, and a 2023 first round pick. The Timberwolves would get OG Anunoby. Excuse me if I can't pronounce that name properly.
Yeah, Anunoby.
Anunoby. Mitchell Robinson, and Obi Toppin, which we made a big case about yesterday on our show. And the Knicks would get D'Angelo Russell. What's your take on that, man?
Hey, I don't. They just received D'Angelo Russell and they just picked him up. I think the only way that's going to work out, and we're going to get to Cade Cunningham, if the Bulls bounce their way and there's a number one pick in the NBA draft and they'll pick Cade Cunningham, I could see them giving up D'Angelo Russell. But who's going to be their point guard? That makes no sense to me. I think D'Angelo Russell is there for the long haul, but for any reason, those ping pongs kind of fall in place for Minnesota, and they get the number one pick.
Yeah,
Cade Cunningham by far is the best player I think out there, point guard wise. He's a star. Everybody's talking about LaMelo last year.
yeah.
This guy, he passes the ball, he shoots well, he drives, gets other people involved. So that's the only way I can see D'Angelo Russell being available. But right now, I don't think that his availability is here right now. I mean, unless they have something planned, but that's all rumor bill. I mean, I think was Mark Dillon from Fansided. I mean, so maybe it's speculation, something he heard, or maybe it's just he's throwing this trade out there out in the wind.
Well, you know how New York City media is. Throughout the whole season, even the playoffs, there's always some kind of rumor that's out there to keep us on our toes. And it's really exciting, man. There's a couple other stuff I heard. I don't know what's your take on it, but before I get even started on that, I want to say congratulations to LaMelo for winning Rookie of the Year. I don't know if you heard that today. He actually won. They gave it to him yesterday, so congrats to him, and hopefully we can get his big brother over here. But on a side note, yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff I've been hearing today, man. I heard Dennis Schroeder, which I'm not a big fan of. I think he's a shoot first point guard, and I don't think that's what we need here. His energy and his aura of being in LA last season didn't fit well with me. He played like he didn't want to be there. And when LeBron James went down and Anthony Davis went down, he was supposed to step up to the plate. And the guy had a game where he had 0 points and went like 0 for like 12. So don't bring me a guy like that in here. But the big one that I heard, and this is just two of them are speculations, and this is what's to come in the future. We're not talking about next year or possibly even the year after. I'm hearing that on Twitter today, a family of Zion Williams is saying that they're not happy with management over there about making him comfortable, and they may be looking to move him from that team. Now, remember, he's on a rookie contract, so he's still obligated to stay there until he's a free agent. And also, I'm hearing Luka Doncic, possibly. Mark Cuban is worried about how his long-term mentality is going to be with the team. What's your take on that, man? Because that's exciting stuff.
I'm just Zion is not going nowhere. Believe me. They'll clamp him down. They'll give him the farm. They'll give him the house. Whatever they have to. He's not going nowhere. And the Pelicans will be foolish to even entertain any trades at this point. You have to make that man happy in any way. Try to get players in there for them. Zion is not going nowhere. I can see after his contract is over, maybe he makes a decision to sign with someone else. Yes.
But right we'll give him the keys to the city.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Give him whatever he needs and out there, but he's not going nowhere. Now the Luka Doncic thing is interesting. So their management team, supposedly, they're not fulfilling in a lot of areas for the team. And Luka is dissatisfied. They're not making any major moves. and he's not getting along with management, and not all of it, but he's certain. And this is a source out there that is an unnamed source, so this can be a lot of hogwash. But
Yeah.
yeah, so he's dissatisfied with a lot of things. So I think Dallas needs to make some moves this year, or they're going to lose him, because right now he's up for a contract. He can say, "Look, I want to test the market." Now, to get a guy like Luka Doncic, you have to trade everyone on the team. I think what I was
Well,
looking
that's
at,
what that's when he's
RJ
that
Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, 2021 pick, 22nd pick, the 23rd pick, the 24th pick, and you're giving up Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, and that's still a great deal. You're getting Luka Doncic, the best player, or one of the best players in the NBA.
Well, why not wait for his contract to be up and then give him a call and say, "Hey, Luka, you want to run this team? We're in desperate need of a point guard." So that's my next question to you. All these rumors that you're hearing about players that possibly are not happy with their team who are locked right now, would you put in all your money in one bag for this season? Or would you say, hey, let's try to get a LaMelo Ball for the right price. If he doesn't come, hey, let's see if maybe Luka is not going to be happy and maybe there's a chance there.
So let so far what we know of Leon Rose, that's not his cup of tea. He's not going to trade the farm to get one player.
I love that.
So let's get the little conversation out, unless Mr. West can come up with some kind of plan, and the capologists can get some kind of plan where we don't have to give up too much and get his contract in there. That shouldn't be a problem. And get Kawhi in here. That's all speculation as well. But this thing is to build and get players. So think about it. They're talking about, our Luka, Valdoza as an option. I heard they're trying to get the Rubio, as he has a one-year contract left. He has 1 year contract left for $18 million, and they're willing to. And the only thing we have to give up is Knox and some other player and a pick. It's not that much. Just to take his contract.
Listen, before you get that guy Ricky Rubio in here, I tell you what. Why don't you put on a jersey and why don't you go play for the New York Knicks? Because you guys we're almost the same age as the guy. The guy's he's a has-been. Listen, maybe 7-8 years ago, I would have said, let's do that Ricky Rubio in a heartbeat. I wanted him here about 8 years ago, and unfortunately, that's not the route they went, and they couldn't get him here. The guy's banged up. He's old. He's what you call a grandpa of the NBA already. And whenever you get to 33, 34 years old, your NBA career is on the way down. So Mika might as well sign up for the Knicks.
I think he still has some gas in the tank. That's an option. Think about it. You don't lose anything. You put his $18 million down, okay? You can share time between him, Luka, and Rose. I think that's a nice combination. And you don't have to give up so much. You don't have to give up nothing practically to get him. 1 year, they unload the $18 million. We take his $18 million. And, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Leon Rose is type. He's not going to give up the farm for no Luka Doncic. He's not going to give up the farm because it's one player and you lose, half your team. I don't think that's in the Knicks mindset. We've been there and done that, and Leon Rose knows that. So he's playing a patient game. I like his view and the way he's going about things. And the number one thing, he doesn't say anything. He's very quiet. He's in the background. It's not.
I love that.
Every time he had to make a statement about a player and talk. No, he lets the coach do their thing, and whatever he speaks about, he speaks to Thibodeau about privately, or what they need to do to make this team going. Yeah. He's a perfect person to be running this team. Congratulations, Knicks.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, the Ricky Rubio, I'll tell you what. If it's an upgrade over Elfrid Payton, absolutely. Is it an upgrade over your boy Frank Nicolina? Absolutely. Then I'll do it.
Yeah, those two players. Look, Elfrid Payton has gotten trashed this year, and poor guy. I mean, poor kid. He's 26 years old. He tried but he has some good games. I mean, he has some good games. He scored 20, 26 points. His jump shot, he was hitting his threes. I don't know what happened along the way where he wasn't getting more minutes or whatever, and he was a little sour. I saw him on the bench, not collaborating with the team that he used to. Something happened along the way where he lost his confidence, and Thibodeau saw that maybe in practice and in games, and you saw his minutes kind of diminished. He's a great backup for any team. Tibbs, you're starting him for the first 5-10 minutes of the game. For what reason? The team ran better when you had Rose in there, obviously. But Rose also made that second unit run so well. So yeah, it was like Thibodeau was kind of experimenting, and this poor kid was being trashed, and the Knicks fans could be hard on a player in New York.
Oh,
Hey,
we
look,
know that.
remember
We
this
know
goal,
that.
he didn't play well, and he wasn't distributing the ball the way he should have, and his strong suit is driving to the basket, and he was doing that, but he wasn't completing the shot in. So
The guy can't shoot. The guy cannot shoot the ball. I think he shot what 21%.
But he plays good defense. That's why that's what reason Tibbs started him, because he plays defense, and that's his high quality that he has, and he can drive to the hoop. But at the end, he was like an airplane coming down fast, ready for a crash. Because wow, between the fans who really killed him and organization not having the confidence in him, he just saw the writing on the wall. And this is it. I mean, $5 million is getting paid this year.
I think he's done. That was going to be my next question to you. Is we got a couple of guys who are free agents this year. Taj Gibson, him, Frank. So I was actually going to ask you, what happened?
Taj is coming back.
You think Taj is coming back? I was going to ask you, who would you bring back out of the couple of players? Like, I'm looking at a list right here. We got Frank Nicolino, who's a free agent. We got Nerlin Noel, which I wasn't a big fan of, but listen, the guy turned out to be a diamond in the rough too. But you made a point to me privately a few weeks ago that the type of season, I think he was second in the NBA in blocks. And I think if we're gonna stick with Mitchell Robinson, I would love to have him as a backup, but I think he's gonna demand too much money.
Well, so we got him at a cheap this year. I think what was getting paid $5 million as well.
$5 million, man, real cheap. Yeah. So
you're not going to get that from some team is probably going to offer him at least $12 to $15 million. And are you going to pay a backup $12, $15 million? That's why you keep Taj Gibson, because that guy he's another warrior. He's a warrior you saw what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus, eventually, I think he's going to fade away into the Knicks coaching staff. I think he has know-how. He's good with the players. He's good with the team. I mean, he's a great organization kind of type guy in the bench, and maybe he'll do some management eventually. But Taj Gibson will definitely stick around. He's a tips player, and you have to keep a guy like that around. He performed. I couldn't believe this guy, 36 years old, 37 years old, doing what he was doing. I mean, wow, he had energy. That second unit, and even with the first unit when Noel went down, he played. I was like, who's that guy? I was like, Taj Gibson, man.
See, Mr. Zen Ray wants to bring back Taj Gibson, so his answer is bring him back.
I think not only that I want him back, I think the organization is going to bring him back. If I was a betting man,
I would bring that man back. I would tell him, I appreciate it. We want you back, but we don't want. I don't want him. I don't want his minutes getting away from like people like Obi Toppin. I think he's a phenomenal locker room guy, and my heart goes out to him because he did play with a lot of grit and a lot of, like we like to call it in New York, that dog mentality. And I do like that, but I think it's time to sit there and say you got to let this guy Toppin. If he's going to be part of you got to give him a couple of more minutes. So I would say Taj Gibson, assistant coach. Or you come back at a cheap price and you kind of just let him hang on the bench like we used to do with your famous guy, that point guard that we had. What was his name, Mr. Crash Dummy?
Baker.
Yeah, it's Ron Baker. We'll do one on Ron Baker for him. What about?
I had no clue how Phil Jackson thought he was a diamond in the rough, man, and they give him a contract where they signed him for 3 years or 2 years for. Listen, he hit the lottery, man, because he's a G player at best, and he was starting games for the Knicks. That tells you how screwed up the Knicks organization was back then. Phil Jackson was just laying back, collecting a check. He was just throwing darts on the ball, and if darts on the board, and if it's kind of stuck, okay, let's go with that. I
think Ron Baker was a lawyer for Phil Jackson's family, and that's the only reason he made it to the Knicks.
I have no clue, or he was dating his daughter or someone like that. But
yeah,
tell you something else. I mean, if you look with Phil Jackson, not want to go back on that, but he also humiliated and antagonized the best player on the team. How do you do
Carmelo.
that?
Yeah.
You should shut up. You should let the coach, you
Yeah.
know, and you kind of stay back. Look at Leon Rose. I haven't heard a word from him. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, behind the scenes, he's working, doing his thing. I think Phil Jackson spoke more and talked more than he actually worked because there was no production, no kind of. I mean, look at his draft. I mean, that says it all.
What about Reggie Bullock? Would you bring him back? I say for me, yes.
Reggie
What
Bullock.
about Alex Burke?
Yeah.
You bring him back too? Norvel Pelly. We signed him. He had a block or two in at the end of the season and at the beginning of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember him breaking his finger, and we never saw him again.
Yeah, so this is what's going to happen. So you mentioned Obi. I think Obi's going to be with the team. I think the Knicks are not going to go crazy and make a trade out there unless it's something that we're getting like a bargain on. But I think Obi is going to be, you know, he's going to be coming off the bench. We'll be backing up
Julius.
and he can play that 5 position. And then I mean, he's tall enough. You have to give him probably a little weight, a little muscle to do it, but you know, give some time there at the 5, and then you keep Taj. I think, and then you have Mitchell Robinson. I think that's you can start your team with that, and if Noel wants to sign for a decent contract, then you get him. But I don't think you get always a third stringer anywhere. And right now, you know, you have between Taj, Mitchell Robinson, and Obi, you got some nice bigs there. I mean, you would get one more in the draft probably. They'll probably draft somebody, but
Yeah.
I don't think Pelly is not even.
And Mr. Derrick Rose, that's the last one. What do you think? I definitely bring that man back.
He's penciled in already. He's like they're already forming this contract up already. They're getting we'll probably give him a year contract with an option, maybe a team option, maybe his option, probably a team option.
All right. Did you catch the playoffs last night, man? Atlanta pulled it off. They came back on Philly. I could not believe. Let me tell you something, man.
I was watching that. I was thinking about you. I was thinking, you know, I said if Philly blows this game, which they did, I mean, we spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
This guy, he's
built differently. He's just built different. The guy's he's a phenomenal player, man. He is.
He runs that team. Without him, obviously, you know, there's no Atlanta Hawks team. But this guy just runs around and he dominates the game. He dominates the game. Trae Young, I would say, if he gets this teams to the finals, like that's your kind of Cinderella pick alone, I think he MVP. I'm sorry, man. I know he's not going to win the MVP, but hey, he has to be in the discussion, man.
Yeah, the guy
season with that. When is the MVP voting coming? Then you know.
I think it's right when the final. I don't know if I don't know. They used to do 2. They used to do the NBA Finals and they used to do the playoffs besides the season. I don't know if that changed now and they're only doing NBA Finals, and that's it. So
he's well, let's put it this way: he's the MVP of that series. He was the MVP on the Knicks series, and he's the MVP right now for the Atlanta Hawks.
The kid is good, man. He's the new Reggie Miller of New York. You know, he's the villain, but he's taken that role and he's embraced it. And I respect him, man. I hate the guy's guts. If I saw him across the street, I would shake his hand, but I would also look at him and tell him, you know, I really hate you, man. But the guy's good. You can't take nothing away from him, man.
When you say hate out of love because.
Oh,
That man doesn't use that word. We love, man. I know your hate is translated. You love the guy.
Yeah.
You hate when he plays against us. So I understand. I forgive you, man. We don't
same way. Listen, it's the same way Michael Jordan, you know, one of my favorite basketball players. He used to kill the Knicks, and I would sit there and say, I really can't stand that guy. I didn't hate him as a person, but you know, I just didn't like what he did to us. He made me cry, man. Like I said yesterday. This hairline is back not only because of my personal life, but because of the Knicks. But it's been a good year, and I'm hoping that we continue doing some stuff. And a lot of rumors are going to keep coming in the next couple of months until the free agency comes and we get back to training camp. So I'm excited, man.
So just 2 final. we ought to be excited, Knicks fans, man. I mean, Leon Rose, we spoke about it. this man is going to take this team to the level. It may take us a couple of years to get to the place we're at, but you have to stay on this steady path and this patient train that we've been at. And I think we're adding small little pieces, man, you know, and that's why I said the Rubio thing wouldn't be a bad thing. You add more pieces. I mean, Rubio will start for you, but he'll play like 8 minutes, you know what I'm saying? He'll come play some defense, and he'll do his thing, pass the ball. Then you know, Luka Valdoza will be involved. Rose will be involved. That way you don't have to go out. But if you go out the expensive route and you go for Lonzo Ball, which I've been hearing in many news things talking about that he wants to come, he's interested. He's interested in coming to New York. His father is like, hey, you know, that builds up his brand. You know he wants his son coming to New York. So think about it. He's going to cost you between $18 to $22 million. The question is, are the Knicks willing to do that? And maybe Leon Rose is playing poker. You know what I'm saying? He's just talking about other players and not, you know, and that's the way you do this to get a good price or a bargain to get a player in here.
Yeah.
So I can see the Knicks getting Lonzo Ball, man. You know, all this stuff.
Oh, I lost you. Give me a second, Ray. Oh, got technical difficulty, guys. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Hello. Oh, my mic got cut off, I think. Give me a second. Yep. Can you hear me? Yeah, I know, guys. I don't know what's going on. My you can't hear me no more because my headphones died. Ray, my headphones are dead, man. I apologize, guys. But I'm gonna have to cut my stream. I know you guys can hear me, but we can't hear him right now. So Ray, it was a pleasure. We'll do some more stuff, man. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna be off for a couple of days. So we'll definitely do something in the next week or so. We definitely are gonna do that live call-in, Ray. We gotta definitely speak about it and work something out. We're working out some kinks, and we'll definitely get you guys' opinions. We'd love to hear you guys' comments in the chat on how we can improve. I'll bring you guys some news. Let us know some feedback, what you guys think. And I can't really hear you, Ray. So with that being said, I appreciate it, brother. And always remember, guys, family above everything. Peace. Love you guys. Stay safe.
Father, it's parenthood shit. Humble.
You guys can hear me, man. Check out my son's song, man. This is him right here.
Holding my past far behind me. I know that life can get grimy. That's why I'll never look back, cause I already know what's behind me. Dear humble Lord, please come find me. Yes, I go hard for my son and my daughter. Never could fail as a father. Been new to the times will be hard. Believe me, of that I'm not bothered. Humbly in love with it all. Just trust when I say that I got him. Speak from the heart. The story will see if you come from the bottom. Digging into it, knowing I barely get through it. Takes all you got to be a man. Just gotta level the uses. Make sure you don't have too little. And also don't overuse it. It's like my Libra scale. All it took was a balance of movement. As for my kids, I will prove it. There's nothing else I can do but to make sure every single footstep that I take is for you. While putting your best foot forward, I'll show you how to move and how to keep a strong knee that's really buckling through. Let's take them through it. The levels of evolution. How ladies can never prove it and fellas just never do it. But hold it tight while you down in the tiptoe and silent movement. Make sure no one that don't need to know never know how you move. Aside my kids, I will always grow. That's something I'll forever show. Epiphany hitting stronger than bullets you letting go. And regardless, I made it right. How I did it, you'll never know. Back and forth for all of my bullshit. I had to make something blow. Just let them know. I'm digging into this honestly, knowing it's more than what I could see. Can't predict what's my future holding. My past far behind me. I know that life can get grimy. That's why I'll never look back, cause I already know what's behind me. Dear humble Lord, please come find me. Yes, I go hard for my son and my daughter. Never could fail as a father. Been new to the times will be hard. Believe me, of that I'm not bothered. Humbly in love with it all. Just trust when I say that I got him. Speak from the heart. The story will see if you come from the bottom. You digging into it, then you take a some hour shift. Bitch, I'm only trying to succeed and do